G'day, how's it going? My name is Grant. I am an exercise physiologist and I've been working in the fitness industry for about 10 years now. The whole point of this channel is really just to clear up a lot of information or misinformation that I see out there, and just to kind of help out people who are trying to do better in their fitness industry, as well as in their fitness journey, I should say, as well as just providing some advice to those who would like it. So here we go. So I'm just going to start off with 5 tips for if you're starting a fitness journey. The very first one that I would recommend, out of all the clients that I've dealt with, the biggest issue that I tend to run into is people choosing the wrong form of exercise or wrong form of activity to engage in. Many of us have different goals on why we start our fitness journey, whether it's to lose weight, build muscle, or just generally stay fit and healthy. And I think we tend to get caught up in what we think we should be doing, which is cases like going to the gym or running or just engaging in some sort of cardio or movement. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people tend to kind of fall off for various reasons. You know, it could be cost, it could be distance to the gym, it could be just time in their day that they don't have to dedicate to these things. We're going to get to those in a moment, but the first thing I want to recommend to you is just to start with something that you enjoy. If you like going to the gym, go to the gym, no problem. If you like running, fantastic, do that. But the biggest thing that I would recommend is finding what you do enjoy. So if you want to if you just want to get healthy, losing weight will come with that. Gaining muscle will come with it too. It just depends on what you're doing. If gaining muscle is the biggest thing that you want to focus on, then going to the gym is going to get you great results. But you can also engage in things like sports, group classes, just general home workouts, bodyweight exercises. But the biggest, you just need to find what you're interested in. That's it. So some people don't like going to the gym, no problem. Some people don't like to run, no problem. If you can maybe find an activity that you do enjoy, swimming, you could be going for a walking club or just walking. You could be engaging in a sport. You got soccer, basketball. You could try a new self-defense class of some kind. It could be karate, taekwondo, judo, boxing, MMA, jiu-jitsu, whatever it is. You just need to find something that you're interested in. And the good thing about this is that you can try most of these things for free, depending on where you go. And I mean, that's something that I can't really help you with. You have to kind of research that yourself. But yeah, I'd say try not to get too narrow-minded into thinking that your fitness journey begins and ends in the gym, because it certainly doesn't. The second part that I wanted to chat about was easing your way into it. I think this is a really big one that I see with most of the clients that I've dealt with throughout my career. People get really eager, they get really motivated, and they get really keen to just jump straight into it. And that's okay. That's no problem. I appreciate the motivation that people get. But the worst thing that you can be doing is going too hard too early. So what I would like to recommend instead is just to start easy. I think the biggest thing that you can really focus on when you're starting a journey is something that's going to work for you. When you do think about it, right? If you're starting your fitness journey, you're going to be adding a stress to your life. If you've got kids, if you study, if you work full time, if you're just trying to make ends meet, generally you're going to be stressed. Everyone has stress in their lives. Starting a new routine of some sort is going to add stress to your life. Yes, there are benefits to physical activity. Yes, there are benefits to losing weight and moving your body. But at the end of the day, you're adding something to your schedule. So this is all about starting easy. And I mean, this flows into our next point is if you start easy, so fewer sessions in the week, just for the first month or so, it doesn't need to be super long term. It's just really something that you can very easily stay consistent with, which is our third point, staying consistent. If you're starting off as a beginner, or you're somebody who tends to do a bit of a yo-yo in and out, stopping and starting pretty frequently, what I would recommend is starting fairly easy. And what do you mean? I keep saying starting fairly easy. I mean, start low and work your way up. And this is purely regarding the frequency of your sessions. So if you look at the general guidelines for most countries, World Health Organization has its recommendations and they're fantastic. But what I would personally recommend, the biggest thing that is going to be best for you to stick with it long term, start with 2 days a week. It can be 30 minutes, can be 45 minutes per session, but start with 2 days a week for at least the first month or so, just so you can get your foot in the door, so you can say that you've been consistent that whole time. And then after that duration, you can increase the amount of days that you're working out, or you can increase the intensity. But that's something that's going to be easiest for you when it comes to staying consistent. The next part is try not to overcommit to it. It is, and this is kind of like making sure that you're scheduling it at the right time of the day. So if you're like, I'm a parent, I'm a father, so like I don't get much time throughout my day to exercise, so I have to kind of choose it wisely. A big part of that is, you know, I can put a certain time of the day aside, but that's going to change every day. That my schedule right now might be, you know, every second or third day of the week. But then that day might come around and I don't have the time. You know, my kids might be waking up constantly, or they might not be falling asleep when I planned them to be. Or they might be waking up early when I was planning to work out. That's something that, you know, you kind of have to deal with. And we can get into that in the next video, but I think what you need to kind of focus on is not to overcommit. So don't dive headfirst into it. Don't do like a 6-day workout. Don't do things that are just going to burn you out, because it's really going to be really detrimental to you. So generally, listen, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're starting something out, you want to start off easy. You want to start off easy enough where you can stay consistent. And in order to do that, you need to ease your way into it. Ease your way into it. So like I said, 2 days a week, keep it fairly simple and straightforward. And then from there, build yourself up. And you can get into things such as volume, which includes, you know, your sets and reps and the weight that you're pushing, the rest breaks, the overall volume, and how many days a week you're doing as well. So that's why it's important just to kind of dip your toes in the water before you jump in, because you don't know the effects that it's going to have on your body over the course of a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, the month. And that's why it's important to take it easy. And the final thing I wanted to talk about was perhaps engaging in that activity or that routine with a friend. There's a lot of studies out there to show that people generally adhere or they stick to a routine or some kind of program much more easily if they're doing it with a friend. I think there's a lot of pros and cons to this. There's definitely a lot more pros than there are cons. A lot of the pros and the benefits to it would be that you're sharing an experience with someone. So you don't feel like you're doing it alone. You don't feel like you're sticking through it with just by yourself. And that's a huge part of it. I think the next thing that you can do will be, you know, you can go through each of these 5 points, you know, finding what you enjoy, starting easy, be consistent, don't overcommit. You can do that with your friend. But at the end of the day, if you can get into something that you both enjoy, then you're going to stick with it long term. Trust me. Whatever it is, you're going to stick with it, and that's fantastic. And you know, you do go through it thick and thin. If it's a really good friend or a partner or even your children as well, get into it, have fun, and that's what's going to keep you in the long term. But yeah, those 5 points again: find what you enjoy. It's not all about getting into the gym or running your legs off. You just have to find an activity that you might like. Second one, start easy. Don't jump headfirst into it. Don't do 6 days a week. And just be sensible about it. Start with 2 days a week. Focus on staying consistent. Keep it relatively easy. Helps you stay consistent. I'm going to say that word 1 billion times. Don't overcommit to it. Don't just drop everything and your whole life is revolving around this new activity. Start with a friend. Awesome. Thank you.